Welcome to Wonderland Weekly, hosted by Toronto Ty. Now sit back and have a wonderful week.
First question is coming from me on behalf of a lot of people that won't ask themselves. Is there any plans in the future to have industrial ice machines?
Yeah, we did them!
Preferably before 3 p.m.
Any questions related to the future, I always answer the same way. Just wait and see. Time will tell. I can't comment on what the future may hold. So, yeah. Hopefully, there's better ice production in the future.
Hey, next year's new coaster, what's the placement of it in the kids area?
The question was about next year's family coaster. It's going to be up in the Planet Snoopy area, sort of up behind Lucy's Tugboat and that area.
So Dinosaurs Alive-ish area?
Yeah, exactly.
With the cell phones and the procedure, what is moving on with the cell phones? People taking their cell phones out on rides. What is the procedure for that? Because I've been seeing that it has been improvement, but some workers at like Behemoth areas are slacking. Leviathan crew is on their best, but Behemoth, like last week, last time I was here, a whole family brought out their cell phone and your crew didn't even stop it. So I'm just wondering, like, what's going on with the cell phones?
Yeah, I can't comment on, the question was about cell phone policy on rides. Everybody knows you can't bring your phone out while you're on a ride. It's not because we don't want the posts or the likes or the whatever, it's because the phone could hurt somebody, right? We don't want that to happen. So our policy is you bring it out, we tell you to put it away. If you don't put it away, security will escort you to the gate, and that'll be the end of your day. So that policy is still the same, and if you have a specific complaint about an attraction, then you can, I can pass it forward. Sure.
What was the process like with deciding on Snoopy's Racing Railway? Like, did anyone at the park go to Friedelin's in Austria?
So the question was the development or the decision to install this family launch coaster, the Snoopy's Racing Railway. As some of you know, we've worked with Art Engineering before on the Guardian project. We have a very good relationship with them. And we followed along with the development of that coaster in Austria. We didn't travel to that site, but I've been in very close contact with the owners of that company about the development and about future possibility of it coming here. So when that was a win for that park, it proved to be something of interest for us. So, yeah.
Why was Leviathan down for that period of time?
The question was about Leviathan, and it was down for a week.
6 days. 6 days.
So Leviathan,
That's breaking the law for us.
It would be great if machines didn't break down, but many of you own vehicles or have air conditioners at home, and we know that machines don't always live on forever. So the main gearbox on that ride did fail. We were lucky enough that there was one in stock, one in Florida we were able to get. So we had it trucked up and we had it changed as quick as we had hoped. So it would have been nicer if we could have done it in 3 hours, but that's not feasible. It is not a small job to change that gearbox. It's a quick, drawn, long process to do it. So that was the reason.
What happened with the bat this season?
So the question is about the bat, or the Como Boomerang. We've been fighting with some hydraulic issues on that. We've had to get some new components fabricated. We're hoping to have it up for next weekend. So we're still working on it.
Emily, so
Yeah.
go ahead, Emily.
Follow-up question to the question about Snoopy's Racing Railway. I see that you're going, what's its name, Tundra Twist?
Tundra Twister,
Tundra
yeah.
Twister, yeah. That seems to be another like sort of first of its kind flat, of which we have a lot of. Is there a particular reason why you went with Tundra Twister, that particular ride, over potential other options you had available?
The question was about Tundra Twister, the new Mondial ride. there's no single reason that we choose a ride. It's a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
One is cost, one is location, one is what audience are we trying to appeal, what group of people are we trying to draw to the park. And when we put all those things together, we filter out a bunch of rides and we filter in a few rides, and that was one of the ones that was on our pick list. So we've had good success with Mondial rides in the past. We've got a good relationship with them. We have the most number of that manufacturer's equipment in the world. We've got several of their pieces here. And we've got a good relationship with them. They support us and help us get through it. So, yeah, many people say they probably won't ride it, but I don't see why not. I'll be the first to ride it. I ride all the rides first, so I'm looking forward to it. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ed.
Oh, okay. All question to the fire. If you didn't have that part of Florida, how long would it have been? How long would it taken you to fire?
So the question was, if we didn't have a spare gear, if we didn't find another gearbox somewhere else, and these gearboxes are not sitting on every shelf in every Canadian Tire, they're very specialized pieces of equipment, right? So if one was not available, the lead time on a box like that is over a year. So we wouldn't have gone the route of waiting for a replacement. We would have had the box repaired. So we could have replaced components within the box. We could have had new gear sets machined, hardened, and replaced. So it would not have taken us a year, but it would have been longer than 6 days for sure.
I'm going to go here first.
Yeah, I was curious with both Tundra Twister and Snoopy's Racing Railway. Do you know if they will be operating during WinterFest or if they're able to operate, and if that was any consideration with deciding on those rides?
So the question was about the two new rides for next year, Tundra Twister and Snoopy's Racing Railway. Will they operate for WinterFest? The coaster will likely not operate. The only coaster we currently run is Thunder Run. It's a powered coaster. Friction is less of an issue there,
And Taxi Jam. Yeah.
And I guess Taxi Jam. Yeah. The Tundra Twister, in theory, could operate. There's no decision at this time whether it will or not.
Okay.
So that'll be made for next year.
Cool.
A couple questions. Does Cedar Fair specifically use Canada's Wonderland as a test market for the flat rides? Because you always seem to get the best and newest flat rides here.
So the question was, does Cedar Fair use Canada's Wonderland as a test site for flat rides? And that's not the case. Canada's Wonderland, I think, has had a history in that regard, but not because of that reason. We have had good success prototyping rides here. We've got a very strong technical team that can work through new issues and troubleshoot and adapt equipment that may not be suited well. We can adapt it to make it run well for us. Other parks have the same skill sets in a lot of ways, but we've had good success here too. So.
The best.
When did you start plans to build Behemoth? Like when did that start? For 2008?
So the question was about Behemoth and when did we start the development of that? So that ride opened in 2008. We started development in 2006. So it was about the late summer, early fall of 2006 is when we started the development.
Do you know when you're going to repaint Behemoth?
The question was, do we know when we're going to repaint Behemoth? I don't know when we're going to start it. It is in the plans. Vortex is another one I want to repaint. They are in need, so.
Yeah.
Mike's sort of deciding here as we go.
Thanks for taking my question. Usually when I come to Wonderland, I always encounter line jumping and security incidents, and I was wondering if there's any policies or procedures in place to let you know while I'm in the queue, as opposed to telling after the fact.
So, the question was about line jumping in the park. It is a problem in the park that some people feel that that's appropriate to do. There is no current system for reporting it while you're in line. I think it's a good suggestion to have a hotline or something to notify so security can come and deal with it. And I'll make that suggestion, but
Thank you so much.
maybe not.
Alright, so as of next year, Canada's Wonderland will have 18 roller coasters. Meanwhile, the park with the most roller coasters in the world is Six Flags Magic Mountain with 20 roller coasters. Now, I know you're not able to answer questions about the future, but do you believe, in your opinion, that it is possible or achievable for Canada's Wonderland to take that world record or the North American record for most coasters in the park?
I can add to that.
So the question was about most number of coasters in the park, and next year we'll have 18, Magic Mountain will have 20. And do we think Canada's Wonderland could ever get to 20? Who knows what the future can hold? It's possible. We are not in business to be the world record holder in number of coasters. That's not our prime objective.
But Canada's Wonderland's like Disney World. Right now you're making it the best Cedar Fair park in the whole wide world.
So that may be the case. Our business is to get people to come to our site and to buy food and buy souvenirs and spend their day here and have a good time and tell their friends and come again. And if having more coasters helps deliver that, then that's something that we'll pursue. But we like to have a cross-section, a good cross-section of attractions, whether it's shows, live entertainment, a good children's area, a strong teen thrill area, a good family array of rides. We try and satisfy all of our audience, right? So it's a tricky thing. Some parks go heavy teen, and that's not always good. Some people go heavy family, and that's not always good either. So.
That kind of goes with, do you find like, you know, I came here younger and now I'm grown and have my own kids, so I have like this huge nostalgia. So do you find it difficult to balance between that nostalgia and always having to have something new, and, you know, do you take something out that has really good nostalgia value, yet it's not maybe a great ride for the newer people coming in? Do you find a hard balance, or how do you balance that out?
So the question was about, I think, taking out attractions.
Yeah, and like
the decision to take out an attraction is not always easy, but it is made with a multitude of influences. So the cost of operating it, the cost of maintaining it, the ridership, do people still ride it? And is that land use better used for something else? So it's not a hard and fast formula to get to that answer, but at times things have run their course and it's time for them to go.
do you ever think of like emotion with that beyond just numbers, like what people
a little bit.
feel?
That's less on the hierarchy of the decision tree, but it is part of it. You know, our antique carousel, 1928. It's unlikely that anything will take that place, right? That carousel is world famous.
Yeah, just tell me when.
Okay, Sherry?
Hey, just, I know, like, you can't really talk too much about the future and stuff, but moving forward, when developing future attractions or whatever, because of our higher attendance numbers in the recent years, will capacity be something that's more of a priority?
Capacity on the rides?
Yeah.
So the question was about decision for new purchases, and is capacity a big factor in that? Capacity is always a factor in that. We are a heavily used park, and it's a balance between cost and capacity. And if we could have high capacity at low cost, that'd be an easy decision every time. But that's not always the case. So, capacity is an important influence on our decisions. We want to be able to get through as many people as we can. And unfortunately, not everybody can ride every day.
Decision in naming the new restaurant.
The question was about how did we come to the decision to name Lazy Bear Lodge. Any new attraction that we put in the park has a process for naming. And it starts at grassroots within our teams with suggestions, and it morphs over time, and it gets to the point where we have two choices, and then the executives decide that that's the name we're going to go with. So,
Okay, so in addition to that question, that's actually perfect. I was understanding, obviously, that James Major has been promoted to over top of 6 other Cedar Fair parks for food. Fantastic chef. What do we have going on in Canada's Wonderland to go along with that? Because he's not over top of us, but he's over top of all the other 6 parks in the region. and yet our food seems to be further behind when it comes to the quality that we get.
Unfortunately, I can't comment too much on that. My role is maintenance and construction in the park, and I can't. I've been trying to help the foods team improve their productivity, so their production side, so that they can produce the food, so the lines aren't as long. We can always add more cash registers, but if the food can't get out of the ovens and out of the fryers quick enough, then we can't deliver it to our guests. So that's one area that I'd really like to see improvement in the park, is on the production side, so that we can get the food out the door faster. Some parks don't have the capacity issues that we have. You know, if we have, where we have 30,000 people on a day, where other parks might only have 15,000. They can produce enough for that crowd, where this park was never built for that, and we're trying to get caught up.
With the line jumping, I do have an idea, and I know it's not future like Ken has drilled in my ear, but just an idea that would actually, I think, make coaster everybody enthusiasts feel better is, why not put, like I've seen that Kings Island, there's cameras and they can tell if line jumping. Why not that, just a small camera, so you can actually catch them, not suspend them from the park, but at least give them a warning light. And same with cell phones, why don't you do that? And last but not least, with flight decks, just as an idea, with flight decks, camera booth that has been sitting there for I don't know how long doing nothing, why not put it into a drink station? Because Backlot doesn't have drink stations connected to it.
Okay, there was a few questions there. So the line jumping issue.
It's just the idea to put cameras in, it would save.
Cameras may help the situation. You got to staff those rooms to monitor those cameras, and then you got to be able to get people there to resolve those issues as well. So it's not as straightforward as just installing a camera. No. There's a few layers to that.
Yeah.
The second question was
the flight deck's photo booth that's been standing there doing nothing, just.
So Flight Deck's photo booth is in a spot in the park where it's not connected to our utility network. So we have power there, but we don't have water and we don't have sewer.
Okay.
So to have a drink stand is not like Roller Coaster Tycoon where you just drop it and everything works. No, it requires utilities, right? So it means I need to dig a big trench and bring the power or bring the water and sewer there, and it's not as simple as it may appear.
Well, I have seen improvement on Canada's Wonderland, and thank you, Peter, but please bring more ice and drink stations back.
Okay.
We have time for two more, that's it.
Okay.
In the promotional art for Tundra Twister, you got rid of the funnel cake and drink stand. Do you have plans on removing those or moving them to a different plot?
So the question was about Tundra Twister and the funnel cake and drink station. No, that building will remain. It was removed from that imagery to showcase the ride. The building will remain. It's not going anywhere.
One more right here.
Yeah. Oh dear, now I have to decide which one. I'm going to go with, okay, so with Snoopy's Racing Railway, I know the concept art only shows 6 cars, but I understand that the clone in Austria is able to have 7 cars and also runs the circuit twice. Is there plans for the park to open it with 7 cars, or?
So the question is about Snoopy's Racing Railway, and we'll have 6 cars or 7 cars. It will have 7 cars.
Perfect.
And it's currently planned to have 1 loop of the track,
okay.
Not 2. 2 would require us to have a less hourly capacity, which makes the line longer. It's a tough decision. Taxi Jam goes twice because it is so short, but the line would go faster if we only had 1 loop. So it's a tough balance.
Cool.
Currently, we'll go with 1, and if we think that it'll be better, then maybe we'll change it one day. But,
cool.
I'll hang around for a few minutes if there's other questions that we didn't have time to answer. But I know there's another group coming in here at 3 o'clock. So we gotta here shortly.
Thanks, Peter. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that. Everybody else, thank you very much for sticking around. I hope you found that informative. It's always good to have this involvement with our event each year. We thank Peter. We thank everybody else for being involved. Of course, our reps and assistant reps who've done their very best job to bring everything to you today. ERT tonight will start after the line runs out.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like the video, comment with anything you'd like me to cover in the future, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and support me on Patreon so that I can visit more parks and create more wonderful videos.